It was nearly midnight when Jason, Emily, Chris, and Sarah pulled up to the gates of Ravenwood Asylum. Everyone in town knew the stories. Experiments gone wrong, patients who vanished without a trace, and screams that could still be heard on cold nights. The four friends were live-streaming their urban exploration. They had been inside abandoned houses before, but this was different. Ravenwood wasn't just a ruin, it was a legend. As the camera light flicked on, Emily whispered nervously, "Guys, do you hear that?" In the silence of the night, faintly, behind the iron gates, there was a whisper, a single word that all four of them heard clearly. "Leave." Jason laughed nervously for the audience. Well, that didn't take long. The ghosts already hate us, but his voice shook, betraying his fear. The gates screeched open, and from the very first step inside, the building seemed alive. The floorboards groaned, the walls echoed faintly, and the air was unnaturally cold. The first encounter. As they entered the main hallway, Chris swung his flashlight to the left and froze. A man, tall, thin, dressed in a torn hospital gown, standing at the far end of the corridor. His head tilted unnaturally to the side, eyes dark hollows. Guys, are you seeing this?" Chris whispered. The others turned. But in that split second, the figure was gone. Only the sound of shuffling feet echoed into the hall. The live stream chat exploded with comments. "Bro, did you see that? Someone was standing there. This is not fake. Run!" Emily grabbed Jason's arm. "I want to leave now." But Jason forced a smile for the camera. "We said we'd do this. We'll just stick together behind them." The heavy door slammed shut with a bang so loud it rattled the broken windows, that they were trapped. The records room, building suspense. They made their way deeper into the asylum, into a room filled with old files scattered across the floor. Sarah picked up a yellowed folder, her hands trembling. She read aloud, "Patient 313, violent tendencies, claims to see figures in the dark, reports hearing voices instructing them to harm others, recommended for termination." The room went silent. Jason tried to laugh it off, but then they heard scratching from inside the walls. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The plaster began to crumble, claw marks tearing through from the inside. Dust fell into the air as something scraped violently just a few feet away. Then came the whisper again, louder this time. "Get out!" Emily screamed as the lights flickered. For a moment, the shadow of a tall figure loomed across the wall. But there was no one casting it. The asylum shifts. The group tried to retrace their steps, but the hallways were different, twisted, longer. Every door looked the same. It was as if the asylum itself had rearranged. Chris pulled out his phone for GPS, but the screen only showed static. The live stream was still running though, comments pouring in. "Who's the fifth person? There's someone behind you. Look at the mirror." Jason spun around. No one was there, but then he noticed it. An old mirror hanging crooked on the wall. In the reflection, all four of them stood together. But there was a fifth figure behind them, a tall shadow with glowing eyes. The reflection smiled. The real group screamed and bolted down the corridor. Sarah tripped, falling hard. Jason reached for her hand, but something yanked her backwards into the darkness. Her scream echoed down the hall until it was cut off suddenly. The others stood frozen, their hearts pounding. Sarah was gone. Ward 313 panicked. They stumbled into a heavy steel door marked Ward 313. The door opened by itself. Inside, the room was pitch black. The moment they stepped in, the temperature dropped, their breath turning to mist. The whispers surrounded them. Dozens of voices, crying, laughing, screaming all at once. In the center of the room, a figure began to emerge from the shadows. Tall, skin pale and stretched, its jaw hung loose, opening wider and wider until it split unnaturally. The sound that came out was not human, a screech that shook the entire building. Emily collapsed, covering her ears. Chris pulled her up, shouting, "We need to go." But the doorway had vanished. Where the door once was, now there was only a wall. The figure stepped closer, its hollow eyes fixed on Jason. "You shouldn't have come here." Lights burst, sparks flew, and the livestream camera fell to the ground. The last image it captured was the figure's face, inches from the lens before everything went black.